What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope all's good wherever you are. In this video, we have a clip from the Fearless podcast. This is Jason Whitlock's show. He had Brandon Tatum on there. I'm a fan of Brandon Tatum. I'm sure a lot of you that watch this channel are also. And they talk about black fatigue and the issues plaguing the black community that is, let's face it, brought on by themselves. Let's get to the clip. At the end of the video, I want to share a great clip of Clay Travis talking about the Angel Reese situation, comparing it to the Tiger Woods situation from years ago. I think he nailed it, but let's get to this clip first.
Brandon, Officer Tatum, I'm going to come to you first. I just made the argument that this race hoax, Angel Reese, it's going to blow up in her face. And I'm saying that for black people, the race hoax that many of us have been participating in, blaming everything on racism, white supremacy, I think it's blowing up in our face right now with the whole black fatigue deal and just a weariness and a tiredness of white people finally being like, hey, I've had enough. Do you think the race hoax, this 50, 60 years of blaming everything on racism, is that there's going to be dire consequences for black people if we don't put an end to it?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Jason. 1,000% it will be. And I think it's not just a fatigue from white people. I think other black people that are reasonable, functional adults are sick of it too. Every time you turn around, they're blaming race on things that obviously have nothing to do with race. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark is not a race thing. Caitlin Clark is a baller. Angel Reese is nowhere near as good as Caitlin Clark, and her attitude is poor, right? You look on her social media, she's dressing like she a stripper. I mean, she has no decorum. She's not a professional. She's not mature. She has this ghetto mentality and attitude that is not receptive in the WNBA when it comes to ratings and how they're going to grow and be successful, all of those things. And we've seen the fallout with that Shiloh lady who said the N-word to a kid, which I think she's a complete idiot for doing it. But I think what it does is it speaks to the issues of people being sick of the hypocrisy. You know, you have Carmelo Anthony stabbing a white kid in the chest and getting $500,000, and people are in the comments on the GoFundMe saying that's what he get. They've been doing this to us for years. So when you do this for a prolonged period of time, people get sick of it. And I think black people are sick of it too.
It goes back to what Chris Rock said. You have your N-words and then you have your black people. And across the board, I think most of us, as Brandon said, anybody with sense, we're tired of the N-words.
All right, let me ask this question. Let's deal with the elephant in the room, the question that white people watching this are probably having. Brandon, I'll start with you. Are there more N-words than regular black people? Are we outnumbered?
Well, man, you put me on the spot. Some people ain't gonna like what
That's
I have
what this
to say.
show does.
I'd say, unfortunately, I think that there's a slight majority that's N-words. I think that it's a dwindling population. And the reason I say this, because you can look at voting and it can be somewhat of a determining factor. You can look at the way black women vote, which is astronomically outrageous in my personal opinion. So with those voting numbers and with things that I see online, even when I was a police officer, I think unfortunately there's a good majority of black people who are like that. And I think that there's a small group of, or not say small group, but just a slight minority group of black people who are with it. Black people who understand politics, black people who love this country and that are willing to stand up on principle. I mean, I feel like I'm the only one out here half of the time. Other than the people on this panel, but it seems like we're the few out here that's willing to say, no, Angel Reese is wrong for what she did. Or Angel Reese is not as good as Caitlin Clark. It's not a race issue. You know, Shedeur Sanders not getting drafted in the first round or the first overall pick. I knew he wasn't gonna get drafted first overall way back when he was playing. Anybody that know football know he wasn't gonna get drafted there. He shouldn't have. His attitude and character is bad. So, you know, it's not a lot of us saying this. And the ones that say it, we get called Uncle Tom Coon sellouts. We get shamed for marrying white women or whatever the case may be. So I feel like it's a slight minority of us that are with it. Unfortunately, 51% is probably need to get on board.
I think there are far more ninjas than Negroes, and let me clarify and explain why. And Brandon, I want you to respond to this. There's a political party and a political movement and mindset that I believe births ninjas. And I won't even put a color on the ninja that I'm talking about, because there's white ninjas and black ninjas. But this leftist demonic mindset that supports abortion, the killing of child sacrifice, the killing of babies in the wombs, that wants to destroy the nuclear family, that has redefined marriage. This is where ninjas come from. All of that, drugs, that want to legalize every drug, that wants to defend every George Floyd, that their whole life is built around, hey, I'm gonna tear down Thomas Sowell, I'm gonna tear down Dr. Ben Carson, I'm gonna tear down any black conservative, and I'm going to vote for the party that wants to kill babies on command, even after birth, that believes and supports, that's against merit and wants to DEI. This is where ninjas are born. These are the families that create ninjas. So whether they're ninjas or not, they're creating other ninjas with their mindset and what they support. And so for me, there's more ninjas than Negroes based off of how we vote. And I know I've only voted one time. I'm not a big believer in voting and all of that. But the people that support this particular party that is demonic and at the root of every pathology that is damaging black people, they're ninja creators.
Sorry to stop it here, but I want to say you can't say that the system is racist anymore. It says, is systemic racism a scam? It wasn't at one point. At one point, the system was racist. In 2025, there are no laws. And when you say the system, you got to talk about laws. There's going to be racist individuals towards whites, towards blacks, towards Asians, whatever. That's always going to happen. There's always going to be racism. That's never going to change. But the system itself is not racist. There are no laws that are there specifically to better or advance white people. Now, you can make a case that stuff like affirmative action and DEI were anti-white. They were there to advance black people, but there are no laws that are in the system today, 2025, to better the lives of white people. And you can't say a system is racist when the highest position in the country was held by a black man for 8 years. Not only in the country, but the president of America is the most powerful position in the world. A black man held it. We had a black vice president with Joe Biden. She could have became the president of America. And she didn't lose because she's black or she's a woman. She lost because she's a retard. But it had nothing to do with her race and or her gender. She couldn't do long-form conversation. She was doing these scripted podcasts, way too woke, not the most qualified person for the job, yada, 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 but nothing to do with race and or gender. But the party that only focuses on race and gender would like to tell you that she lost because, of course, race and gender. Let's get back to this video.
And so I think if they vote at a 90% clip for a political movement that is destroying the nuclear family, destroying black kids, defending George Floyd and making George Floyd an icon, ninja creators create ninjas, and we got more ninja creators than we got the other. Brandon, your response to that?
Well, I'm hoping that one day we can find a solution to the problem. You know, unfortunately, I almost believe that it's like a Titanic situation, meaning that the community's reputation is drowning fast. And the people who want to recover can jump off that boat, get to the lifeboat and get to safety, because I don't know if it's a way to recover it. My daddy used to tell me that when he was in high school, because he made straight A's and he was on the football, they used to play sideline kill back in the day where they tackle on the street. And he said he was one of the prominent players. They picked him every time. And then the report cards come out. He made straight A's and B's, and they didn't want to pick him no more because he want to be like the white man. That was when my daddy was in high school. Then when I was in high school, the same thing. I used to be the one clowning people. I had a gold teeth in my mouth. And if you are articulate, you wear your pants around your waist. I'll give you an example. It's a guy named Chris Parham. I'll never forget Chris Parham. His dad was a preacher. He used to come to the school with his pants around his waist with a belt on, and he used to have to call his daddy sir. And we clowned Chris Parham to no end. Chris Parham was a virgin. We clowned him to no end. He don't get no girls. He got to say yes, sir, to his daddy. And what do you know? To be honest, that was what black people used to be like. It's being respectful to your father. It's coming and dressing up for success, going to school and getting an education, not having children out of wedlock. And we have completely fallen off the cliff. And Jason, you said it pretty clear is the voting tells the full story. How on planet Earth are we the only people that are voting for a party that don't give a flying flip about us? We are literally becoming politically irrelevant. You give it one more or two more election cycles, then the Hispanic will be the majority minority. And therefore, the Democrats will pander to them and look no further to pander to black people. We are losing on both ends because Republicans don't need us to vote at all. They pretty much don't need us at all. Donald Trump won in a massive landslide and like 97% of black women voted Democrat. I'm telling you, get these illegals, they start getting legal citizenship, they start having babies, the next generation come through, and black people can vote for Democrats at 100% and still lose an election by a landslide. And this is why I say there's more ninjas. And then every aspect of life, pastors, athletes, millionaires, doctors, lawyers, Harvard graduates, intelligentsia, you name it. I cannot find a majority of black people that got common sense. I was talking Ryan Clark the other day. He commented on my post. He was railing against RG3 for marrying a white woman, saying that he don't have the ability to talk about black issues because his wife is white. Yet Ryan Clark can talk about white issues and his wife is black. But Ryan Clark failed to mention, and he don't want to really make it public as much as he claimed he does, is that he had a baby with a white woman. I don't get the utter hypocrisy from the ninjas. That's why we have this issue right now, is because there's hypocrisy that's not checked. But I pray to God that one day, almost like a Martin Luther King speech, I pray that one day we'll get back to God and we'll get back to promoting the family. We'll get back to elevating ourselves to stature and prestigiousness that will help our youth see a better way.
I love Jalen Hurts. I've said from the way he handled Alabama and all that other stuff, that night I was like, this dude could be president of the United States. He's got that type of character. He comes from a good family. But like a lot of black men and just men in general, he's had his balls cut off and he worships women and he doesn't want to get crossways with women. And if they say, don't go to the White House and vote for Kamala Harris, he'll do it because he's a simp, and I consider that simp, that's a form of ninjatry. That's just what it is. Anyway,
Jason,
someone raise their hand and yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
I'm on
Brandon.
the same page with you when it comes to ninja qualifications. I think that anybody that's counterproductive to the black community is a ninja. So I'm not just saying the thugs and the gangsters. And it's very sad because even the most qualified, educated people want to dabble into ninjatry. I remember when I was young, I got jumped in a Phi Deuce Hoover Crip, and my daddy and them wasn't no gang members. You know, I just wanted to be down. You know, we used to, I had gold teeth in my mouth. I got Young Savage tattooed across my stomach when I was at the University of Arizona. You know, getting a bachelor's degree in education. I had gold teeth in my mouth, gang banging. I got my hood on my forearms. I'm doing all this old crazy stuff because I wanted to be down with the brothers, and to see people like Jalen and others who I wish had the fortitude to be one to admire, it really makes me sad. And I'll give you just one example, 30 seconds. There's a guy that I played with. He started a school. Now, he called me an Oreo cookie because I'm married to a white woman and just degrade me as a black man because somehow we disagree politically. But he started a school. Now, I want to be happy for him, right? I want to be happy he started an all-black school for boys and it's Christ-based. But I know he is going to go into this school and teach these young black people to be perpetual victims and teach these young black people that white privilege is more influential in their lives than Christ's privilege. And so it's hard for me to even be excited for a successful black man like Jalen or some of these other people that are doing positive things in the community because they're also counterproductive by not standing on 10 toes and standing up for the Lord and really standing up for what's right and being educated and informed. So that's my biggest issue with some of these guys who could be positive influences, but they end up not being at the end of the day.
Now let me share you a clip of Clay Travis talking about the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark situation. I think he nailed it. Let's go.
Caitlin Clark had another, whatever you want to call it, confrontation in a WNBA game. Like, why is this happening? The Caitlin Clark phenomenon is one that I got wrong. I never really thought that Caitlin Clark would make the difference that she has in college basketball or in the WNBA. What other sports analogies are out there that are in any way similar to the impact that one individual has had on a larger sporting universe? Tiger was the best, almost out of the chute, minority golfer who had ever played golf. And golf was overwhelmingly a white man's sport. And then Tiger Woods came in, and he brought a whole host of new viewers with him. And the Tiger tide lifted all boats. By and large, the golf community welcomed Tiger Woods with open arms. And that was smart. Every single golfer in the world who was an elite golfer, regardless of where they were from, they benefited from the rising Tiger tide. What happens when a white girl joins a majority black league? Her coming to the league brings more viewers, more ad money. The Caitlin Clark tide is going to, if embraced, rise all boats. The majority in the league, which is black women, has done everything they can to not welcome Caitlin Clark to the league. Why? There has never been any cost for black WNBA players being racist. I'm not saying racism didn't exist when Tiger Woods came into golf, but they recognized that the cost of being publicly racist was so significant that if they did it, their careers might be over. The cost of racism for white people is massive. As a result, I would submit to you, there's much less public white racism than has ever existed in the history of the world. What's the cost for being black and racist against Caitlin Clark? Zero. Angel Reese shared a video on social media, Instagram, saying she wanted to beat up that white girl. If Caitlin Clark had done it, she would be suspended probably for weeks if she had said, I want to beat up a black girl. The cost of white racism is so much more significant than the cost of black racism.
Yeah, there's a problem in the black community, and it's nice to see that they're not ignoring it either anymore. Black men make up only 6% of the population. As we've talked about a lot on this channel, they commit over 50% of all the violent crime, and that is absolutely insane. If that's not insane to you, I don't know what would be, because it's insane to me. And a lot of that 6%, a large portion of it, are chronically poor, they're chronically unemployed, they're very dysfunctional when it comes to reading and math. When you look at schools, say in Baltimore, inner cities, the kids studying, their proficiency level is way under where it should be. Way lower than their grade level in reading and in math. This has to be addressed, and it has to be addressed by their community, because gone are the days, the AOC going on, well, they're looting, the summer of love, they're looting, they need bread. No, nobody was believing that then, and especially now people have, even the people on the left are waking up to this. It is not because of racism, it is not because of slavery, it is not because of poverty. Asian people are thriving. The highest paid class of people in America is Asian women, followed by Asian men. You can't tell me that the system's racist. Indian people from India are thriving. They have both parents at home. They have the nuclear family on lockdown. There's a big part of it. We all know that a kid from the same social economic class, a white kid and a black kid, if the black kid has two parents at home, same social economic class, he is much more likely to succeed in school, to not go to jail. If it's a girl, to not become pregnant as a teenager, to not become a gang member, to not get incarcerated, than the white kid, say, that would only have a mother at home. Having a dad at home is a big thing. I appreciate every one of you that comes up to this channel, clicks on the video, comments down below, clicks the like button, subscribe. I appreciate every one of you. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.